welcome to our Spain. How's it going?
It's bueno, Tanya. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien. What are we going to talk about today?
Well, I think we are going to talk. I don't think. I know. I'm telling you what we're going to talk about
Okay,
today.
be decisive.
Be decisive. We're going to talk about grocery shopping in Spain. We've talked about
Yes.
other kinds of shopping and kind of given the overview of these things of
Mm-hmm.
all the different kinds of stores and shopping experiences. But I think
Yep.
we really need to delve into actual grocery shopping because it changes by the different brand of store you go to, and each brand, each store in that chain will be a different experience as well, right?
Yes. And then there are some things that actually are universal. So, there's something very exciting about grocery shopping in another country, but it's also can be a bit intimidating if you've actually moved there and you're thinking, I will never understand how all this works. But if you're on
Hmm.
holiday, it's like kind of fun because it's like it doesn't matter when you're messing it up. But if
Oh,
you're
it's the
actually doing
best.
your weekly shopping and you're like, I don't know how to do this, it's like it can be a bit stressful. So we're gonna try and make it very simple and kind of give you some tips and tricks as well. And I think maybe just start with the different stores that we have, just the names of them. And that way, when people are looking for places to live, they can see which one is around them, you know?
And how they use them. I don't know about you, but so I use kind of all the stores to varying degrees, right? There are the Consumes and your Mercadonas. We've talked about those and your
Hmm.
Carrefours. And there's another chain called Masi Mas that I don't know if we've mentioned in the past, but there's also
Yeah,
your Aldis and your Littles.
the littles.
Um,
Now, for
um,
you, you're in the city. I mean, we have since we live further out, we generally have one store that's kind of close to us. And
mhm.
then if you're in, you might have two, but I mean, you're generally kind of your closest one is going to be something. But then we have things like Aldi and Lidl, and another one is Family Cash. Those you sort of have to drive to. They tend to be a bit further away for us. And some of them aren't even in the city, I think. Family Cash, maybe
Family
further
Cash
out.
isn't in the city, but there is one in Burjasot. Like, so it is on like
Mm-hmm.
the rims, like the kind of the
Yeah.
suburbs that touch the city. I've seen them there. And
Yeah, and
so,
then El Campo. So we have our grocery stores, Consume, like you said, Carrefour. Dia is a sort of a
mhm,
small one. Mercadona, Massy Mass, Aldi, Little, Family Cash, El
mhm.
Campo. But the Family Cash, a little bit. Some of the Family Cash, El Campo, and Carrefour can have more things, not just food. I mean, really getting into like clothes and more Target-y type
Mhm.
situations. So there's a bit of a variety of just grocery stores and then ones that have more.
So I've seen Family Cash have like pool things and stuff, but they'll have like I think I've seen like beach chairs there and stuff, but they'll have a bigger section because I feel like the Carrefour and El Campo is more like a Target, Walmart kind of experience where you get all of that under one
Mm-hmm.
roof. And Family
Family
Cash can be like
Cash,
that.
Family Cash in there's certain Family Caches that I've been to where they actually sell appliances like dishwashers and toasters,
Oh
and they have a
wow.
whole appliance section. And then they're like you were talking about their kind of pool supply sort of section is a little bit more
Hmm.
like an Aldi or a Little, right? Where they have like a little section where you can get some random things, but they're a bit
Okay.
more kind of organized, and it's like you actually have a pool section as opposed to Aldi and Little where it's like here is a section of random things that we think you might like, and we do, we love them all.
Right. And it changes every other day, and you're like, "What?
Right.
I found this thing, kids. Go to." I was just
Yeah.
telling the kids the other day they had this a marker set, and I was like, "It was
Hmm.
really cheap. Go to this store." And they went, and they're like, "It's gone." I'm like, "It
It's
was
not
just there
there.
yesterday. Is it
Yeah,
gone
and then with
already?"
the Family Cash they will actually have a section of plates and glasses, so it's like a very mini version of like a Carrefour where they have a little bit of everything sometimes, but a very
Hmm.
small section of it, so it's useful. And the Family Cash sort of getting into like price ranges. The Family Cash I think has really good deals on almost everything, but
Hmm.
we've found that their fruit and vegetables isn't the greatest, so we don't do that. But we'll get the meat and everything else, dog food, all the other stuff there.
I will add what they don't do in produce, they well make up for
They
in meat.
really
I mean,
do.
that is the price that they have for meats is
Mm-hmm.
and the quality is superb. So I'm
Yes.
often amazed when I do get the chance to get up there that I'm like, oh, we're having lamb for dinner tonight, kids.
Right. Yeah, and then the Consume and Mercadona, Massy Mass, I'd say they are different, but they're sort of ish, I would say, in the similar range, and they tend to be the ones that are in every single town everywhere.
These would be your everyday kind of
Mm-hmm.
grocery stores that'll have more, right? Like the Aldi and Littles, they have. some basics all the time, but things can change. So, and products come and go, right? You get it almost like that kind of Trader Joe's experience sometimes where you're like, I love this product, and then it's gone. And so
Yeah,
you can run into that there where these other stores are your kind of everyday, your Safeways of America. But they are different where like the Consume, I think, is a little pricier than the Mercadona, and Consume has a broader selection of brands where
much.
Mercadona, for the most part, is their home brand with some sprinklings of other brands in. But like if you're gonna get chips, they're all the Mercadona brand, except for a couple Lay's and Pringles bags thrown in. Where Consume has all the brands, right?
I will say that the my experience with the Aldi and the Lidl is very similar to the experience we had an Aldi near us in America, and
Hmm.
it was like I couldn't do my regular shopping there. Like it
Right.
just like you said, you never know what you're going to get there. So it's very similar here. The Aldi and the Lidl is like it's fun. We had an Aldi near our Spanish class, and I would go in there and sort of find some things, and occasionally find a Trader Joe's branded thing, and I would get super duper excited, and it would be like peanuts, and I'm like, we have peanuts.
Yeah, yeah.
If
Well,
you're gonna
I've
import
noticed
that,
that
bring
too.
something good.
The Trader Joe's items they have are just they put the name on a package of something they've never sold in America at Trader
Do you
Joe's.
think?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it because I've seen things like this has never been
And
at
there's
Trader
no,
Joe's.
yeah, and it's not the good stuff. And I'm like, if you're gonna do that, bring us something that we miss, because
Like the
Trader Joe's has some
taquitos.
good stuff. Yeah, and Mercadona too. I will sort of some Mercadona has everything you need, but you're not gonna find specialty things. And some of those specialty things might be from another country, and I'm not just talking about like America or England or something. And if you're
Hmm.
looking for like a special Asian sauce or something, you might actually find that in Consume. Very unlikely
Right,
to find that in Mercadona. They're
right.
very good at all your basic stuff, but you want something special, that's probably not the place to go. And we are fortunate here that we have a Massy Mass in Puthal that does a lot of British things. So if I want a little bit of taste of England, they'll
Right.
have the Bisto gravy and like all these sort of the squashes and all these things there, and it's super.
Well,
Um,
I know when I'm in Pusol, I always make it a point
you
to bring
have
my
to stop
backpack
there.
and go into
Yes.
Masimas. Yes.
I will drive there and be like, we have to stop by Massy Mass. And I've been to Massy Masses in other places like Bachelor. And they're just regular, like the Carrefour and the Consume. So
Right.
yeah. And then beyond that, but beyond the different grocery stores, we have the Fruta y Verduras, and that's going to be like an independent, but it could be a chain as well. But that's your kind of basic. They're selling fruit and vegetables. They might have
And
some
they're
cans of things, right?
right. They're on your corner. They're your corner fruit
Yeah,
market, right? And some of them are more gourmet and some of them are not. And some will
yeah.
sell like fruit that's pretty much supposed to be eaten that day. I think they're getting, you know, or I don't know where they're sourcing them from. And then there's some that are very high end and very expensive, and they have these like beautiful jarred soups, like
Mm-hmm.
for serving of one, because you can't get two soups out of that jar, but with little cloth around the top, like the very
Yeah.
designery things and
I think they
glass
can
jars.
be a good place to find little gifts if you're going to someone's house for dinner or something
Hmm.
or lunch, like to find something that maybe is a little more special than what you might find in a supermarket. But they might also literally just be selling fruit and vegetables, and that's it.
Right.
And then like just some sodas or something. So it just depends on where they are, and there there are a lot of them. I mean, you would
Hmm.
think there wouldn't be a lot, but I think people here really are shopping there and then going to the grocery store for meat and fish and things like and milk and stuff, and really getting their fruit and vegetables from these smaller shops. So they're like all over the place, and some of them are amazing like you said, and some of them maybe not so much. So but it's a way of shopping for sure.
Hmm.
um
Agreed. Agreed.
yeah, and then maybe that's why some of these, and then they could be right next to a Mercadona. Like I'm always surprised, right?
Oh, there's like three within like a stone's throw of the Mercadon. Like you have to
Mm-hmm.
pass them to get to the Mercadon across
Right.
the street, down the block, at the end of the block. And I guess what's also good is like if you're frugal like I am, and you can keep, for some reason I keep prices in my head, so I can be like, oh, I know that's cheaper. So I remember to get the cherries on the way out because they were cheaper than
Yeah.
what Mercadona had them at today, or something like that. I'll pay
And
attention to that.
it will be a quicker shop. You just go in, get your stuff and leave. So it's not a full grocery store. So there is that aspect to it if you just need to get those things.
Right.
And then each of these, so in regards to sort of how to shop when you get into the shop, we have discount cards here too. Not all of them. I think
Hmm.
we've decided that Mercadona is maybe the only one that doesn't have it. That we've been
I
to
if
of all
they
the major
do, I
ones.
haven't. Yeah, if they
Yeah.
do, I haven't seen it.
They've never
And
asked for it. So, and that's one of the
right,
things they will ask you when you're shopping. If you go shopping, if your Spanish isn't very good, when you go out to register, when you go out of the register, they're going to ask you for two things. They're going to ask you if you want a bag, and they're going to ask you if you have the card for the store. So just be
right.
prepared for those two questions. Unless you're a Mercadona, in which case it's, do you want a bag?
And if you don't know what the question is, listen for the word telefono or nia, because they may be asking for your ID number or your phone number to access your card,
Yeah.
right? Your discount card.
Yeah, and I was very stressed when we got here because we've always lived next to a consume, and they're so nice, the people that work in the shops, and it's all very chill. And I went down there and they had like one register open, and the woman I was like, "Do you have a card?" I said, "I don't have a card." She's like, "Would you want to get one? And I could do it for you right now." And I'm
Hmm.
thinking, well, I can't do it right now. I'm going to have to come back when there's no one waiting, because
Right,
that's not something you should do when there's people waiting, but they really, they don't care. And
right.
it's fine to wait for everybody to do their thing. Like nobody's stressed. So, she did do it very, very quickly. I ended up having to, because that was the only way to do it. So one day I just had to do it, and, it does work
and
and it's quick.
And I would like to add to people that are coming here from foreign countries that are moving here. A lot of these stores have apps, and
Hmm.
some of them are Spain specific, even like these international ones, like the little. So if you're keeping your, like, say your Apple ID, I don't have a Droid, so I don't know how those work, but like my Apple, it's region. Your ID is a region, so you may have to add another Apple ID to your phone, switch it to that one to download the apps here if you want to keep your main region to America for all or whatever country for your apps, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
Yeah, there's a lot of apps you can't download unless you've switched your phone to Spain. That's
Hmm.
not going to be the only thing. Also, the parking apps. I mean, there's a lot of things that you might need that will become an issue. And yeah, you'll get the discounts, maybe coupons and stuff on those apps as well. So if you are move next to a store that has one, it's worth signing up for it. The other
For
thing that
sure.
was very unique, I think, was the weighing of all your own vegetables and fruit in certain supermarkets, and having to wear
Hmm.
gloves and all of that business.
Right.
And it has
And
not been, it has been more often than not, unfortunately, that I've gone to the front without having weighed it and had to like run back and weigh it, or someone else has come and done it. And again, you're waiting and everyone's looking at you because you're the town idiot that
right.
didn't do it.
But in our defenses, not all stores are the same. So
Yeah.
Mercadona, there's only like one thing you weigh, and actually, you don't even weigh it. They weigh it, but there's certain, like Mercadona, you don't have to weigh your own. Let me just try that. You don't have to weigh anything your own. There are items that are weighed that are
Hmm.
weird that they still weigh up front,
But not by
which is
you.
like, but
Yeah.
not by you,
And
not by
some of
you.
them
So
are
you,
changing. Some of them are changing it. So we've had a store where they took the weighing out of you doing it and moved it
mhm.
into the register, and the register would weigh it as you go. Um, so they some of it's changing. You might have it in one way and then they change it. And then in our
Now,
consume, they suddenly started weighing pastries. And I'm like, why?
right, right. So consume, you're still weighing yourself.
Hmm.
Mercadona, you don't weigh yourself. What's the store that switched? Do you remember, or was that like a local store?
I think it was the, gosh, I'm trying to, it must have been a consume. I have to imagine it was a consume. They took the weighing out and were suddenly like, and also, just to be clear, you can be in the produce section and some of the stuff is already weighed and done. So not everything that's in the produce section needs to be weighed. So
Right,
you do have to look at the little symbol next to the what you're picking up. So let's say you're picking up some potatoes or something, or like, whatever, tomatoes. There's going to be a little sign that will either have a number on it or not, and not the price number, but the number that you punch in to the weighing station. So it might
right,
say give you the price and all the information, but then it might have in a big circle, it might have like 60 or something. And that is the number that when you go up, that is the number for the piece of produce that you have. So if it doesn't have
right.
that number, chances are it's a whole item, like a piece of lettuce, like a whole lettuce or something that is doesn't have to be weighed.
Just has a price, right?
So we haven't
Because
really made
why
this
make
any
it
simpler.
easier?
I don't think we've
No.
made this any simpler at all.
We're just letting you know how confusing it is. So when you go in, you don't feel like you're not smart for not knowing. We're
Yeah.
letting you know.
But you still have to figure it out for yourself because it will depend on
Right.
the store and it will depend on the item. But just assume that most things need to be weighed. You'll need to use gloves to pick things up, put them in the bag, take them over to the weighing station, find it's all pictures. You can go through and find the
Right.
thing that you have, and then, and then you get a sticker and put it on. Otherwise, you just don't want to be the person that gets to the front with all of the stuff that you've purchased not weighed, because that will be
Well,
irritating for everybody.
I did that once because the Mercadona does this, and I didn't have to weigh it myself, but it is the weighed things, which are these like hostess type pastries, right? Like your
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of ding dongy type things. So they had all these, and the kids were like, "Oh, can I have some like these little prepackaged brownies and cakes?" I said, "Sure, get one of each." And so I let them up, and the woman was like, "You need a bag for that. I've got to weigh it." And so I mean, she wasn't like in a bad mood. It
No.
was just like, how do you not know this? And I'm
No,
like,
can I
but they're prepackaged. Like this
yeah.
is a scan
To
item.
be fair on that one, you're not I've seen so many people, Spanish people, not weighing those and being told that is because it doesn't make any sense that these prepackaged
No.
things that could easily just be given a number, like they could easily be 10 or 50 cents each and be done because they're all prepackaged, right?
Right.
There's no reason. And I have seen so many people do that. So to be fair to you, I don't think that's a foreigner thing. I think the Spanish are also like a little bit confused by that one.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
makes no
It makes no
sense.
sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then the other thing is they have prepackaged, obviously, cheese and meat and everything in the store. You can just go in and get a whole
Hmm.
chicken or go in and get your cheeses, whatever it is you want to do. But they do have most stores, some of them are a little different, a full, fish counter, meat counter, carniceria, like all these things. But you need to get a ticket with a number in order to then be in line to wait. And especially if
Right.
you go into at a time when it's busy, or you go into family cash where it is always busy, I always suggest you go in and get those numbers first and then start shopping, because you could easily be waiting 15, 20 minutes more to
Right.
get in to be the first in line for that. So that's kind of like a local trick.
Right, right. I will say though that like Consume versus Mercadona when it comes to the meat counters and the fish counters and those
Mm-hmm.
things. This is where Consume kind of you know what, I wouldn't say elevates one, they're elevated in different ways, right?
Yes.
So Consume has a meat counter and a deli counter and a fishmonger counter, where Mercadona does not. They have a fishmonger, a very good one, and
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised when I went to get salmon. They had prepackaged salmon, and the whole salmon was like almost a third of the price as the packaged one. And I was like, well, I'll just buy the fish and deal with it. That's so much cheaper. And then they were like, oh no, do you want it cleaned and deheaded? So she did all the fling, everything that was going to be in the package, she
Right.
did for the
Yeah.
price. And granted, I was throwing away the cost of like the tail and the head and that kind of
Mm-hmm.
stuff, but it still came out much cheaper than buying it having already been done, even though she was doing all that work. And to me, that should be more expensive because it wasn't factory done, right? Like she
Right,
was
that should be more.
literally
That should be more expensive. And I have found that like that is one place where I would say Aldi and Lidl probably shine, is in the frozen like fish fillets, like salmon and stuff. Like
Mhm.
I found them to be quite a bit cheaper. But like you
Mm.
said, in a consumer or a Mercadona, you have the option of going up to the fish counter or going into the refrigerated section and getting stuff that's pre-done, or the freezer section. They have,
Mhm.
fish in all those places, and they will vary by price. Yeah, but it's
They will.
weird that that having the person do it for you right there and then is actually one of the cheaper ways to do it.
And the hack is you get your number first, order the fish first, then do your shopping, and then come back for it. So she's doing it while you're out shopping. So you're not wasting time. I mean, there is the convenience of having it done. But if you get in there first,
Mm-hmm.
order your fish, then do all your shopping, it's ready for you to go. So you haven't really wasted any time.
Not
Just saying.
necessarily, but I've also found that like the like we haven't been able to get things necessarily cut. Like they will cut anything the way you want it theoretically, but we still haven't found anyone. Even when we ask for lamb chops to be cut thick, they still end up in the bag way too thin. And we just haven't
Okay.
mastered this at all. So we need to like go visit different places, I think. And then the other thing that I think is fun, if you're asking for meat for stews, they call it taco meat. That is cubed
Right.
meat. So if you just want like to make a stew or something, you're actually asking for taco meat, which also doesn't make any sense because that's obviously not the type of meat you would put in a taco.
Yeah, I don't know how that translated that way at all.
No, maybe they do tacos that way. I have no idea, but that is what you asked for, and that's once I figured that out, it made things a lot easier.
Now, the other thing I've noticed with the Mercadona versus the Consume is Mercadona has a Hamon counter, like you would find a
Oh,
deli counter. They have an actual just Hamon counter with maybe 5 to 7 legs on the stands, and they're in there all day slicing them because they have, in like the kind of like prepared deli section, not prepared, but like the
yeah, yeah,
prepackaged
yeah.
sliced meats and stuff. They'll have Hamons there from national brands, kind of thing, right?
Right.
Like the
Like
Hormel of Spain will have
sliced
their,
ham on
yeah,
there, next
yeah,
to all
ready
the
to
other.
go.
Yeah.
But they're slicing it and packaging it in front there,
Mm-hmm.
and it's nicer. You can get the biota, you can get the sibo, you can get all these different. See how I threw those words from our
Yes.
Hamon special? See how I remembered that?
From
And
our poco a poco about ham on.
for our
We
Hamon,
learned
yes.
something. Imagine.
And they have that there, where in Consume they'll have like maybe one or, I mean, the Consume in the city, I don't know what it's like where you are, but here they have 1 or 2 legs, and then they'll have like chunks of Haman legs that I guess they're slicing on the deli slicer, not chipping away at it as they do on the actual leg slicer, right? It's like,
Yeah,
there's the
we
round blade, that you use in deli.
in our consume we do not have any actual ham-ons being sliced. It's just they've obviously cut off chunks, and then you can slice it at the meat counter, at the deli counter, and have it sliced, and it is freshly sliced, but it's not like a whole leg that they're slicing it off. And I the
Mm-hmm.
Mercadona is very, it seems very fancy, and they're definitely doing a night, they're slicing a nicer leg of ham than is probably in the deli section of the fridge. But it's the
Mm-hmm.
person that's standing there slicing those is also slicing and packaging it as well while they're waiting for somebody to ask for it. So you can get the freshly sliced, already packaged and vacuum packed right in front of that counter too, which
Mm-hmm.
is ham on from those legs as well. And they're quite a bit more expensive, but obviously because it's a nicer, it's not because the guy's standing there doing it, it's because it's a nicer ham on. So you have the option of a regular whatever and then the fancy. But I kind of like that about Mercadona. Mercadonas, if you walk, I mean, the ones that we have out here, they don't sell as much stuff in them, but they're big aisles, and it's a very nice shopping experience. Whereas the
At the Mercadona.
Mercadona, yeah, whereas the consumes more
Yeah.
regular, I think, in that regard.
Yeah, and but the Mercadonas in the city versus the country still sell the same items. It's just a
Hmm.
much wider aisle, and they'll have 27 ketchups instead of 10 ketchups on the
Right.
shelf or whatever. Like
I will find,
but it's not
yeah,
new
they
brands.
have more. Mercadona does a lot of their own Hacienda brand, right? It's a lot
Hmm.
of their own, well, their own brand. It's the same stuff rebranded, but it's with their packaging. Consume has a bit of a mix of their own brand
Right.
and like regular stuff, I think. And then also the one of the things that I have found here that I would have had to, I feel like, go to a more of like a Costco type place in America for is they will have refill bags of hand soaps and refill bottles of like cleaning spray and things like that in these little grocery stores, whereas you can buy the bottle once and get the refills after, which I think is kind of nice.
Hmm.
And I think that differs from store to store, and it differed in store, it was different in store to store in America too, but I think here I found more of it.
What I also found was interesting here, and I think you saw this as well, is that when you buy your cocoa powder, like your Nesquik type stuff, you can buy the tin once, and then they have these huge bags that you can
Yes.
use to refill it, which is kind of nice as well.
But it's kind of
Uh,
like then you feel like you're shopping at Costco because but when it finally runs out, you're like, but how could it have run out? I had like this giant bag of Nesquik, like, and you're shocked
right.
again that things run out, and it's like, oh, this is really annoying. But it is nice. You buy the tin once and then you're just refilling it. But it was funny. Like I sent Jawad in to get something shopping for something for coconut milk the other day, and he couldn't find it. It was in such a weird place. Like it wasn't with any of the other tinned things. It was over in the aisle with the creams,
Right.
right? Which is and I guess it's kind of a cream-ish, but not really. So
No,
took a
that's how it
while.
is here. Yeah, that's I've seen that. That yeah, it's there, but yet, but what's also funny is at our store, the store that I shop at most, the creams and the
Hmm.
coconut milks with the cream, but it's also the same aisle with the ketchup and the mayonnaise. Like they're all on the same shelf, and I'm like, that is such a random mix: soy sauce, ketchup, mayonnaise, cream, coconut milk. Hmm.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay, well, our cream and our consume and the whipped cream and the coconut milk and the and all that is next to the refrigerated section of hamons,
Oh yeah, that makes
which
complete
makes
sense. Is there
complete
a
sense.
battery? Is there a car battery there too to buy?
That's over by the
Because
dog
I think
food.
we have may have said this in other episodes about shopping or just life, but these stores here, if you're coming from another country, I mean, I guess we could probably say this about anywhere in the world, make no sense. And each each brand of store has their own way which does not duplicate another store, meaning that if you're like in America and you shop at Safeway or Vons or Albertsons or Publix, all the stores have the same layout. There's the
Hmm.
stuff you're supposed to buy on the outer rim, and the inside rim in the
Yep,
inside of the store is like your junks and processed
not
foods.
happening
And in
here.
here,
Not
no.
happening.
And just because one store does that, it's not like they're all the same. Where okay, yes, we always have cleaning supplies on the left hand side and something on the right hand side and everything. No, not at all.
Not at all. And it does make it a bit annoying to like just run into another store because you are somewhere, because it's never going to be the same. And because of
Hmm.
how they arrange things, they will arrange things not just differently, but you might find the peanut butter here and then there in another store. And like you said, like the milk's
Hmm.
here or the eggs are here. And it's like, yeah, they don't even organize that within their own brand. So it does it makes it much more sense just to continually shop at your own one. Especially if you're in a hurry. But yeah, you do get used to
Yes.
it. But it's like like you said, I think we have mentioned this before. If you can't find something because it's not where you think it should be, don't assume they don't have it. Like go ask
Right.
for it and look for it, because I have found pretty much everything I've needed here. It just isn't always where I want. So definitely ask, look. People are like really nice. They will walk you around the store. I remember looking for coconut milk, and it was very hard because I didn't know the word for tin, and they took me to the coconut
Hmm.
milk next to the regular milk, the to drink,
Right.
and I'm like, ah, yeah,
Right.
that's right, but that's not what I want. So yeah.
So you found the coconut milk to drink, like the kind of with the soy milk, that kind of
Yeah,
milk? I
if
have
you
yet to
want a milk
locate that one.
substitute, but it's
Right. They
also
have that.
with the coconut water will be with the alcohol. Like it's with
Right.
it's with the mixers that are next to the alcohol, like where the squash is and where the grenadine and these sorts of things are. You'll maybe find the coconut water, but the coconut milk as a substitute for milk will be next to the milk. But then the coconut milk in the can is over by the
For the
creams.
cooking.
Yeah. So,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. Once you kind of stick with your grocery store. And I mean, I would do that also in America. It's easier because even if you're moving it, you know exactly where things are in your store. But they definitely, it's fun. It's a fun little adventure. And the eggs, we all know about the eggs, right?
That they are not
They're
refrigerated,
not refrigerated.
and they are different in every store. So where does one find eggs in Nakara? What part
In
of the store
Nacra,
do you
we
find them
find
there?
eggs all the way in the back of the store, as always, next to the carniceria, next to the meat counter.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
in the
So
Carrefour that we have, also over by, not near the meat counter, but they have a meat counter in Carrefour. I don't think they do. They just have a fish counter, I think. No, they do have a meat
I
counter. Yeah,
don't.
they do have a meat counter. They have like a deli section. So it's behind the deli center, like but by the produce, all the way in the back over there. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, the Mercadona in this city, they're in the produce section, which to me makes the most
That makes
sense.
sense.
After I've lived here a long time, that makes the most sense.
Yes.
And it's in the middle of the store. And one could say, oh, it's easy. On your way into the store, you see them, but also it's brilliant because they're on the way out. So
Oh,
you're not
that's
putting them at the
clever.
bottom of your rack, right?
Yes.
So
That's very
that
clever.
that makes them good.
Yeah. And also don't refrigerate them when you get home. They don't need to be refrigerated. But if you do refrigerate them, don't
No.
then take them out and put them on the counter. So pick one.
Right, and you're supposed, if you refrigerate them, from what I've heard, is you're supposed to wash them before, because it's the bacteria on the egg that keeps them fresh on the counter. And the reason why they're refrigerated in America is they've
Oh,
been
because they've
washed,
been
so that
washed. Yeah.
that yeah,
That would
so
make
that's
sense.
what I've
Oh
heard.
my god. Yes. I think that's very true. um
But can we say one thing about the stores here that I think is amazing is how clean they are? They have those,
oh, so
what are those
clean.
things called with the ice skating
The
rings, Zambonis or something?
Zambolinis bands. Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Zambonis. There's probably something
Something
else.
like that. They've got one of those 24/7
Mm-hmm.
just going up and down the aisles, cleaning the floors at these stores. I'm like, what do they think's happening on these
Yeah,
floors?
and amazing. I'm trying to think if I've ever seen anything broken sitting somewhere with like, a cone. I mean, it just doesn't seem to
Right.
happen. Like if something happens, they're like on it.
It's
Yeah,
insane. It's really
which is very nice, I think. And you just, don't run into them.
right.
They are there.
And they are moving pretty slow. They're
Hmm.
not going to run you
That's
down.
true. Yeah.
But we can also say things that I think is, it's still 2 years in, is taking me to get used to, is not shopping like an American, um, where you like stock your cabinets and stock your fridge thinking you're going to eat it, because the stuff does expire very quickly here. They're
Hmm.
not using the same preservatives. So, if you're buying something that you normally think is going to last for a few months, like mayonnaise, like
Yeah.
America, buy mayonnaise 6 months later, that mayonnaise is still good in your fridge. Here, it's not. They say eat it within 30 days, and you might get another 5 days out of that, but it's changing. Its
Mm.
consistency is changing. It's been my experience. I don't
I
know
haven't
about
had
you, but
problems
that's
with
what I've
with
been.
mayonnaise, but I definitely I tried to make my own mayonnaise and it was so good. It's so easy, but that really lasts like a day. Like that's it. That's all you have
Right.
if you're making your own. But I would highly recommend that to anyone. Speaking of mayonnaise, so good. The issue is with sort of bread and these things. I mean, they get moldy really quickly. So you've got your fresh bread, either freeze it or it's going in the trash, as well as like you were saying, even stuff that goes in the fridge.
Hmm.
It's not going to last as long. So you do have to shop a little differently and be aware of that. But you will learn that lesson, like we have, if you don't. It's definitely going to happen.
And like things like olives, right? Jarred olives and
Hmm.
certain things like that you think are going to last forever. And you open it up, you're like, why is there a layer of mold or scum on top of this that I'm not used to? And you're like, and it says on the jar, I bought a thing of like cocktail onions. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, we'll make martinis one night with cocktail onions. So I bought it, and then I just kept it there. Like, I took a few out and left it in there. And I mean, I came back to it like 2 months later, and they were all like browned, and it
Really?
was gross. And I looked at the jar, it said consume within 5 days. Who's gonna eat 75 cocktail onions in 5 days?
You might also want to check your fridge. I don't know. Maybe should be able to last a little longer than that. So maybe
It
maybe
was
check your fridge.
gross.
Yeah.
But it says consume within 5 days. How are you gonna consume that within 5 days?
Well, you're
You
clearly
know what
not
I
drinking
mean?
enough martinis.
I guess not. Well, I don't need to drink that many martinis.
Somebody obviously does. It's consume. Maybe they're designed for something else. I chop those up and stick them on salads and stuff because I found some in the fridge
Okay.
and I was like, that looks like a good salad addition. So there it went.
There it went.
Yeah, and I think overall it's a very like one of the things that changed when I was shopping and looking, the difference in the things that they have a lot of and not a lot of. I mean, you'll find an aisle of olive oils, obviously, whereas in America
Hmm.
you'll have like two or three brands to pick from, right? I mean, it's not so quite so vast, even though they have so much of everything. So the things that you will have a ton of here of choice is like olive oil, the hamons and cheeses, maybe not a huge variety of
Hmm.
international cheeses, but a huge variety of different types of cheeses. And then, totally peculiarly, Nutella. You will have the Nutella. The brand of the store will have its own Nutella. And there's, I think, three or four different other brands that have decided that they can do better than Nutella at a cheaper price. And it's not that much cheaper.
Right.
So,
No, and there's hundreds of them,
mhm.
and but it's not that much cheaper, but it is cheap compared to like buying Nutella back in the States. But but I went to consume the other day because I was like, Tanya says they've got peanut butter here, so I'm gonna see if she's right now. So I went there and I did find peanut butter, but they have it in 2 sections sections of the store. So two separate places,
Okay.
and they're different brands in the
Mm-hmm.
different
Yeah.
spaces of the store. And neither of those spaces made sense to me. But then when I went, I was like, I saw the thing of Nutella and Nutella-like items, and
Right.
it was a good 5 foot wide of the
Mm-hmm.
shelf, top to bottom of Nutella, and then that's where they had the two different jars of peanut
Yeah, at
butter
the top,
just
the tiny
mixed
little
in
ones at
that.
the top, right? I mean, Xena loves it. It's like, I mean, you have an aisle of Nutella and like two peanut butters. But when we first moved here,
Yeah.
there was no peanut butter, and then I did. Maybe they had it in that one aisle for protein and stuff, but they really didn't have it. So now that they've moved it to the Nutella and the jam section, and we've got, like I think I mentioned before, we have our crunchy and smooth now, which is like what?
Hmm.
And it's so not my thing, so I couldn't care less, but it was still a thing, right? Even though I don't eat
Right.
it.
And well, I mean, since we're on peanut butter real quick, peanut butter isn't consistent. So the stuff that they sell at Consume is nothing like the stuff that you buy at Mercadona.
Oh, really?
It does not
They
look the
have
same.
they have
It's a
peanut butter
different
at
color.
Mercadona?
Oh
Oh,
yeah, and
okay.
it's delicious.
Okay.
It to me the Mercadona peanut butter tastes like that Laura Scudder's back in the States. I don't know if you remember that. That was the kind of like natural with the oil on
Okay.
top. I'm getting a face from her because she doesn't
I
like
don't know.
peanut butter,
I
so I'm
would not
dropping a
know a
brick
peanut
wall.
butter brand from another peanut butter brand because you're talking to the wrong person about that.
Right.
Sorry. I can fake it. Ooh, peanut butter, yummy. Tell me more about
Yum,
the brands in the
delicious.
States. I will say what I do like about it because I do. Okay, so I buy the. This will probably make you all cry. I buy the peanut butter for our dog because the only way I can brush her properly is by giving her a plate of peanut butter to lick, and then she forgets about the fact that I'm trying to brush her. So, but she doesn't like the crunchy one because I tried it and she's like, "What are you? This no." So I'm not doing that. But what I like about it is just peanuts blended. I've never looked at
Right.
the ingredients and found a whole bunch of other stuff. So there might be different brands, like you said, but I do believe they are all just peanuts blended, which I love.
I have the ones that taste just like the Jif. There's like little will occasionally have one that's like a Jiffy kind, like a Jif, the, where it's made with I think it's palm oil they put in it. I have not checked those ingredients
Mm,
to see what the difference is. I know the ones that we get at Mercadona is all just peanuts.
yeah,
Yeah, it's just that delicious peanutness. But sometimes
you
you
never
want your
know.
Skippy.
Well, not me, but yes, I'm sure people do. But you can find
Some
something
people
here
do.
now, so everyone will be happy. I think other than that, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's kind of special. Usually they have pizza in the refrigerated section, but also in a frozen section. So if you
Right.
are a pizza person, definitely make sure you check out both. And different brands, I think. So that's, and they also make these nice little mini pizzas, which I love because those were always a really good size for Xena when she was younger. Um,
Well, they'll sell them like in 2 and 3 packs, so you
yeah.
only have to cook one at a time, which is nice. We were just at the store the other day, and we were. This was a. You know what? We never even did an Ah Spain moment at the beginning of this episode. So, oh my god, I have an
You
Ah
have one?
Spain.
Okay, good. Our Spain's
Oh my
usually
god, I
one.
should have totally brought this up in the beginning. We can totally did that. Sorry, audience. Sorry, but here we go. I have an
Oh
Spain. It
no.
was really just a why. It was a why Spain moment. We were at the Mercadona looking at the pizzas, and we are in a foreign country and realize some of the pizza toppings do not gel well with us, and we're not used to like tuna on the pizza. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you may have said to me you don't mind tuna on pizza. We have not
I
tried
would
it
prefer
yet.
tuna
Um,
over pineapple if I have to make a choice over something weird. But yeah.
well, how about
Oh gosh,
this?
what was
How
on
about
it?
this? How
Uh,
about hot dogs on your pizza? It's
what?
Frankfurt, is what it said on it. Frankfurter pizza.
Who is that?
And the girls and I just,
Who is that geared for, do you think?
I don't know anywhere in the world that's putting hot dogs on their pizza, but the girls and I looked at each other and we just said,
You
no,
didn't even try
no
it? It
Spain.
might have been really
Okay,
good.
no, we're not. I mean, I'll try things, but I mean, I'll eat cow heart, but I'm not putting hot dogs on my pizza.
That
No,
we
I
have
don't want
found your limit of what you will try.
it.
Well, maybe instead of starting with the R Spain, we should end with the R Spain. Because that's kind of
Okay.
the, I feel like we've sort of reached the limit of suggestions and things that we have for grocery stores, unless you have something else.
No, I think that boils it down. That boils it like
Pulls it
hot
down. And
dogs.
I'm really sorry about the Frankfurter pizza. Just blind us as you walk by them.
Yes. Well, hasta luego, Tanya.
And then I'll just say luego.
Okay, right. That's another episode.
That's another episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, can't get enough of us? Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Ospain Podcast.
And on our website, unspoken.com, which we will be updating with exciting new things as we grow.
We would love for you to message us with any topics you would like to hear about.
See you next time.
Bye.